99.7 FM.
All my joints said my dad, but they lie bad. Now here's some hard bars for my diehards. I'm in lion hearts, why should I lie in my art? Gonna rap Moses, now let the sea part. I see green, I know the sea stop. Tell our dogs to never see top. So just beat it, king of pop. I've been dope, call the dog, let's detox. I know Bob, I just check life, let's converse. 2 packs of Machiavelli, I bomb first. I know they talk missiles, drones are funk flex. It's all really simple, I'm complex. So tell all the drums that I'm bar heavy. Bar after bar, get your shots ready. I nice flow, expose foes, I show off. ECG, that's what expose, I show off. ECG, watch me go off. Check the score. Play to win, yeah, prep for draw. Nah, I'm not playing ball. They closed the gates, I found an open door. Yeah, check the score. If you true, no be rush. Play to win, yeah, prep for draw. Nah, I'm not playing ball. They closed the gates, I found an open door. Oh yeah. Nice flow, it gets scary for Judge Derry. You fit to ask the bread knives and brown berries. All the real heads know they cannot bump heads. So rappers go hear this and feel hurt. Y'all so emo, you cancer, I'm chemo. Universities even pay for my keynotes. So even when I quit rap, I won't be broke. Y'all made me do this, y'all made me do this. All in my mentions like I ain't the truest. Been doing this since my days in the US. Now I do shows, all the bass be like you just. So nice, with words. And your baritone, it works. Boy, better know. Shout outs to Frisco. M. Dutch, you be too much. You do everything here, the streets talk. Do I have the fire still? Silencer on, it's a quiet kill. Pope John Flow, that's a pious feel. Ghana man, name one that's better than. None. Charlie, check the score. Play to win, yeah, prep for draw. Nah, I'm not playing ball. They closed the gates, I found an open door. Yeah, check the score. If you true, no be rush. Play to win, yeah, prep for draw. Nah, I'm not playing ball. They closed the gates, I found an open door. Oh yeah. You admit, you never hear nothing like this. I was late to the party, now I have it lit. I brought the climax, I found the clit. Forget about glitz, grime and grits. No, they take shots, it's who the shoe fits. Inspiration and I are buddies, we click. Bring all your crews, bring all your clicks. The devil's in the details, 666. It's a juicy day with my hit, Juicy J. Do my dead by my lonely, treacherous way. It's hip-hop, hooray, by Afrobeats, high life, let's do it our way. Like play, we are innovators, stop the quache. I will leave you a legacy, so let the drum roll. Kudos to the youngers like drum roll. You can shape the future, tell them I said so. Fresh flows, Festo's the best though. Makan, you knew from get-go. Pain, case closed. I bass, you already know. Don't ask me no questions, Fika Nacho.
Joy 99.7 FM. Joy 99.7 FM. 99.7 FM.
It's another Tuesday. My name is Kobe Spikey Nkrumah. You're tuned in to Joy 99.7 FM. The show is Geek Squad. Last week we spoke about fake news and, well, we talked about how to identify news that is not correct, is not verified. And today we want to look at some examples of such news, and then we want to tell people or teach people how to identify such fake news stories. So, with me to do this, I have with me Gary Al Smith, sports journalist and all-round sports genius. I mean, this guy knows everything about every sport to be done. And double KO or KKO, which one do you prefer? KKO, KKO, for you. See, Winston needs no introduction. And Sir Maximus the First, social media and digital media guru. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
I know it's Geek Squad, but why is everybody like tweeting and things? Yeah, what's going on?
I'm saying probably there's a lot. I don't know what's happening on other people's timelines, but my timeline is pretty busy.
Yeah, obviously, because your timeline is happening now.
Yeah.
It's real time happening. So, what's the latest fake news in sports, Gary?
Not much. There isn't much to report in terms of the fake news. I mean, I tried scouring before coming on the show, and we've not had any,
anything suspicious?
Yeah, blockbuster. Except of course, it seems that two protagonists when it comes to the Black Stars, Asamoah Gyan and Andre Ayew, are trying to combat fake news their own way. So they are being proactive. Last week we spoke about proactiveness, and they are being proactive. So if you check, for about 6 days now, they have been preempting the news and they have been going on top of the news. So things like you see them posting photos of each other, in their camping. Kenya, to stop anybody making up any news that they have bad blood. Today they went to meet the president, Nana Akufo-Addo. They made sure that they were seen together. After that, they went to the stadium to watch the Black Queens. They made sure they were seen together with the coach. Asamoah Gyan was doing a video, saying that people should go to the stadium and support the Black Queens. While he was speaking, Andre Ayew came over and they goofed around a bit, and that's one way of destroying fake news to be. So I suppose that's our fake news newsletter for the day.
KKO. You're not sports.
Not at all.
So any fake news on your end?
No fake news on my end, no.
Winston, any fake news on your end?
Well, I wouldn't consider it fake news because we don't know if it's true or not about what's happening on Tech Campus. Yeah, saw it on that Jodel app. So yeah, we don't know.
What's that app about anyway, Jodel?
It's kind of like an anonymous forum. So people just go in there and talk. It's kind of like Reddit. Yeah, but it's just
anonymous.
Yeah, very anonymous, and people just go there and talk. I've seen some pretty interesting stories over there. Like very, very, very interesting stories.
And these are locals.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow. So what is this whole thing about?
Well, apparently there's this dude who seems to be cracking at the seams and seems to be about to either embark on a mass shooting or kill people via cyanide gas. I don't know where he's going to get the cyanide gas from, but I mean, we don't know. We really don't know. He says tomorrow, so yeah. He gave a time.
I've seen people sharing it on social media. Everybody's asking if it's true. I don't know if the authorities have received this and what they're doing to preempt this, but we do hope that it's not going to happen. It is fake news. Sir Max the First.
Yeah, no fake news here. So not that I know of, right?
Okay. Well, on my end, someone sent an image claiming it to be a waterfall modeled in a woman's head, sort of like with her hair being the fountain where the water is coming out from, and they say it's in Japan. And looking at the thing, it looks like CGI, which is computer generated images.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to prove to these people that it is not real. But he's like, oh, it's the Japanese, they can do it. So
Japan for bread.
Japan for bread. Them and the Asians in general want bread.
Yeah, right.
So I just went online and did a reverse image search. And even before I did, I just did a Google search I just typed in fountain, hair, Japan, waterfalls. An image came up. I followed it to the Instagram page of the original poster. And it turns out he is a 3D artist. And he's done many, many, many like this in his imaginary world. So those of you claiming that image is from Japan, sorry to burst your bubble, but yeah, gravity doesn't work like that. You know, if you look at how the whole thing is, it's defying gravity. So that's from my end. And you know, the religious ones are the ones that really scare me. You see people sending, oh, we saw Jesus' face in the clouds.
In the waterfall.
In the waterfall.
Everywhere.
In the trees.
You remember the one about the motorway?
Yeah.
On
There was,
the motorway.
yeah, on the motorway.
Once, yeah.
So somebody said, "Oh, that's the motorway. It was a highway." So somebody just thought it was Ghana, and they felt it was the motorway. They said, "Oh, it's water coming from heaven, a fountain, like in the Moses time, like something like that." But it happened somewhere else. It was a faucet, not a faucet. A huge drain pipe that had burst and was gushing out. Yeah, somebody said it's Jesus working miracles.
It's the angle of the shot, fake news.
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
The angle of the shot.
Yeah, the angle of the shot. Yes.
So now that we know how to identify some fake news, how do we educate our people on how to identify what is fake and what is real? So, Gary, in your area of expertise, how do you identify stories that are real and stories that are fake?
Well, last week we started talking about this, but we didn't finish because of time. So let's recap. What we were saying was that essentially major news websites have certain things that make them credible. I mean, one marker from fake news websites is that their spelling is horrible. Of course, there are very notable exceptions, like The Onion. The Onion writes the best English out there.
Let me just hold you on.
I should hold that thought.
The Onion. Last week I was supposed to let us talk about satirical sites.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because people seem to not realize that they are not fake news sites. They just out there for satire.
Yeah.
No, really, in the definition of fake news,
They do fall under.
Yeah, they fall under that category.
So then, where does satire fall?
So that's why the world is a whole big blurred line now. Because Maximus, satire is a form of literature, like we learned.
Exactly, and you can tell the truth using it.
Yes, you can tell the truth using it. But
Yeah.
this is the case where last week, as we spoke about monetizing or weaponizing information, people will now tell you that, oh, my website is a satirical website. Meanwhile, they are actually pushing a certain agenda.
News, yeah.
So, for example, there was a website. So, like The Onion has its editorial mission as being a satirical website, looking at real life events from a funny angle, so that essentially to mock people and let people in power know that some of the things they are doing is whatever it is.
Right.
Now, certain websites, and because we are a Ghanaian radio station, some came into prominence in the last 3 or 4 years. One was called screwlife.com.
Yeah.
What made Screw Life problematic was that the stories were so close to the truth. They were so believable, and the English was good.
Exactly.
That was the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, if anybody who was partially literate or a bit educated read a story on screwlife.com, they were giving quotes that were quite true. It was clear that these were very intellectual people who were behind it, and that was the problem. So one way is to look at the spelling and things like that. If that fails, or not just that, you go to some of the, I think it was you who was saying that you can go to, I mean, if you can go that extra mile to check when the website was incorporated or formed, you can see that, I mean, it was like done like 2 days ago or 3 days ago or 3 months ago. And we gave the example of the website called joynewsroom.com, which mimics myjoyonline.com, uses the pictures from this very studio that we are sat in, and for all intents and purposes. However, that website, if you followed 1-2 of their stories, they were, was it pro NDC or pro MPP? I think they were just pro one of the parties.
Exactly.
So you just had to look at one or two of the stories to identify, no, this can't be real. So there's screwlive.com and then there's joynews.com. They have these characteristics.
And then they had the
Joy Newsroom.
And then they had the Yesi.
Yes, but Yesi also started as a satirical news website and never laid claim. You know, there are some websites that are in to do damage.
Yeah.
Right. Some of the websites also helpfully write below the stories that this story is not, because I remember what's Dogbefi's website?
Ghana Business News.
Ghana Business News. I think every Tuesday or so they had a story that was satirical, and then underneath they helpfully wrote something that made you see that no, this story is not real. Now, another way to look for fake news is that when you see that news story, if it's big enough, you can't be sure that the Joy FMs and the City FMs and the, you know, the Ghana news agencies and the GBCs and the Ghana webs will report it.
Exactly.
So just cross-check on those websites. If you check on your favorite radio station or, you know, credible news website and it's not there, that should be a flag. You know, if they say President Nana Akufo-Addo was flying in the sky today, you know, we saw him flying over Accra and he appeared in Kumasi, and you know that this website you saw it from, you've never seen it before. Just check from Joy FM, check from this other website, check from this other website. If it's not there, then you can hold on to sharing it and wait.
Yes.
You know, so these are the ways that everybody wants to share some other ways.
You know, I'm trying to recollect how the whole concept of April Fool. You know, so there's trusted websites, they also use that same concept.
Even Google.
Yeah, even Google, all of them. And then they use it to just, you know, play pranks on us. And a lot of people tend to believe it. And that's the power that fake news has. If you're not able to unveil its nature, to be able to cross-check the facts, be able to check the authority of the source. Okay, so all the backlinks, all other websites trying to, you know, profile the same story. If you don't check those things, you will believe it. And if you believe it, the likelihood that you just click a button to share, so you become an evangelist of fake news, you know, is very high. So we have to be very careful about that.
Yeah, I think this fake news thing, people just, it's like a phishing attack, right? Once you don't pay attention to the link that you get, and for some reason people want to be the first to share in a group, or be the first to send this information out.
A typical example is today one is going viral on WhatsApp, who blocked me. So you see someone sharing a group a link saying find out who blocked you on WhatsApp by clicking this link, whoblocked.me. If you receive this, don't click on that link. They're trying to just fish for information. They tell you to share it in your group. And
so
they're just taking data.
It's horrible. And the downside of some of these things is that it is toxic to public discourse, and it makes it very difficult for citizens to make decisions, because they're getting a lot of wrong information. And by the time they figure out that this information is fake, and they might have reacted to it in a negative way. And some of these times I tell people that, think about it, if you reacted to that and you committed a crime or acted in an act in which was illegal, you just read something online and you reacted to it. So people should be cautious about the things that they share out, and also should try and just wait a minute or two, right? If it is real, I'm sure you hear it on other platforms other than the WhatsApp. But I think WhatsApp has come to help by really hurting us a lot, because a lot of people, that's where a lot of the fake news is going.
Are you calling WhatsApp Okumfu Dumfu?
Yes, I did.
Not only WhatsApp, social media in general.
No, social media in general. But like for me, I can tell half of the fake news I see is on WhatsApp because it's very easy.
It's faster to share.
It's faster to share. You know,
It's really from family groups. I'm going to call them out.
You know, and it's horrible because it helps. It's a threat to national security as well.
Yes,
right. Because people can share someone's information, and if we are not careful, it can lead to all kinds of things.
Yeah.
And I believe some of the things that we saw in KNUST and stuff like that could be just a simple WhatsApp message,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That you know, we are going to a demonstration here tomorrow, blah blah blah, and then people take that up and act in all kinds of ways. And I'm sure people who are not even from KNUST took advantage of that to react,
and
right? And to vandalize the school. So we have to just double check. And people, nobody gets an award to be the first to share.
I'm wondering, is that the social media awards that we don't know about?
You people are sitting here, you are saying there's no award. Look, in groups, there are people who
Aspire.
are known, no, not the aspiring journalists, but I'm sure listeners will identify. I mean, I don't want to exaggerate and say in every WhatsApp group there's that one person. Look, in my school group, my preset group, shout outs to you, Kiwi. Like, Kiwi is the bearer of bad news. When anybody dies, if Kiwi has not said the person is dead, he's not dead. You know, like, if there's bad news, so if he shares it, I mean, even me, I'm a journalist, but if I go on my phone and I'm asleep and I wake up and that guy shares it, like, I'm going to believe it first before, you know. So it's like that, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the worst case scenario is that it can lead to some kind of hate speech, violence, or even death, right? So people should be careful because, and as well, what is funny is that if you've been following the trend of fake news, almost every year the same thing surfaces somehow.
Yeah.
Right? So sometimes I look at them like, this thing happened last year and it's happening this year. It cannot be the same thing, right? It can't be happening twice. So people should be very cautious. They should be very patient. It's very easy to click a button and cause more damage than to just pause and pay attention to even the wording of the website or the link. And the problem with fake news is that since people trust other people and it's coming from a trusted source, they think it is true. But they are also not thinking of the fact that that person might have gotten it from somebody else who has no idea what he's doing, but just sent it to him. He also sent it to a group, and then everybody just start clicking, right? So I'm just advising, especially the born into computer people, right? They have to learn how to take a pause at these things, read it over, and before they share it, because it can lead to so many other things.
So many problems.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I'll go to the jovial side of things. Everybody's been very serious tonight. I mean, fake news is serious.
Listen, and the one person who's made fake news stick out is the U.S. president.
Yeah, Donald
fake
Trump.
news, fake news, right? And now
he doesn't like it.
Listen, if he didn't write it, it's fake news, right? Unless his Twitter account says it, then it's fake news.
Fake
Please. So on a more light-hearted tone, like when you're on the internet and stuff like you talked about the block my WhatsApp or whatever thing. Yeah. You're on the internet and you click something and a pop-up comes. You have won a new iPad. Come on, bro.
Yo.
If it's too good to be true, it's probably fake news.
It is fake news. Not probably. It is fake.
So don't send. They'll tell you to send to your WhatsApp group or get so and so number of contacts to do so and so things, and you get. Please don't.
You know, there was this text message of you dialing the star 06 hash. I think that's code to check the IMEI number, so that you can track who is monitoring your call. So I asked the guy, how do you think they monitor calls? Okay, somebody who is checking the monitoring of calls will not use a short code to verify that, really, because if there are legal implications. So if they want to monitor your call, they will get a warrant from the court. You have to prove it, and then go to the telcos. Then they start monitoring you from the point of the warrant, when the warrant was dated, right? So issued. Then they start monitoring. But you can't say that I should dial a short code for me to check whether my network, somebody is eavesdropping on my conversation. So who is authenticating that particular connection? Is it the network or somebody seated in the US or another country or something? So when you receive such things, I go like, have you cross-checked? Oh yeah, the code came. I said, of course, that's what you use to check the details on your phone. So some of these things, when we get so excited, the thing works, and then you realize they're just scamming you.
Cross-checking is very, very important.
There's this one, the pop-up ads.
Mm-hmm.
For people who pirate stuff, you know what I'm talking about. When you click a link in any of these
free download
sites, they pop up an ad. Ghanaian woman makes $200 a day doing this. I have people sending stuff to some of these groups saying that you can make $50 a day online doing this. I just look at the link, and at the end I see the reference ID, and I know obviously
you are too advanced for that.
Yes. So at this critical time T, could you explain what a reference ID is?
So what these sites do is they get you to sign up, and they tell you that before you can move on, you need to introduce other people to sign up. So then they give you a unique identification which comes after the URL. So just look at the URL. If it's google.com, you see / my name may be Spiky111 or something that shows that anytime someone signs up, this person signing up under Spiky111.
Yeah.
Then obviously this is directing people to, they're just amassing data to go and sell to other people. And the other one that I keep seeing, these pop-ups that come up and tell you that your phone has been infected by a virus.
Or your computer has been
infected by. The ones on the phone are actually very advanced because they get your phone to vibrate.
Yeah.
And then you find, and people panic and they think it's true and they download whatever APK they are being. Listen, if you are browsing and you get a pop-up saying that download this thing, your phone has been, it is not true.
Your phone will tell you if that was the situation.
So that's the key thing we should look at.
I'm looking up this information here, and there's this fake news that popped up in Nigeria, where it says Nigeria presidential candidate has been endorsed by a gay rights group, right? And somebody created a fake Twitter account which says, "I want to thank all associations of Nigerian gay men for their endorsement," and this really hurts the candidate.
Of course.
Right. And that was absolutely fake before they had to come back and fight it and say
it was not true.
It was not true. Right. And a top Kenyan personality shares fake stories by saying that his video is shooting a video in Kenya, and everybody goes like all excited about it, and it's absolutely not true. Right. So these are those, and there's another one which was kind of scary in Ethiopia, where they said I think there was some kind of fight between the two groups, and they said they saw somebody burying people in a shallow mass grave.
Yeah.
Right? And it was fake. So just think about it. If somebody had reacted to it or got upset about it, this could have led to a whole bunch of violence too.
So do we have a practical example from this weekend? I mean, last week we spoke about stuff, but you were asking what's been trending, and I forgot about the biggest thing this weekend, apart from the whole football thing, was the NDC Congress, right?
Yeah.
It shut down everything.
Right.
So very early on in the Congress, I mean, somebody wanted to use fake news to muddy the waters and was shut down pretty quickly. Now, a bunch of images came out that showed 2 checks from UMB that said that former President Mahama had signed humongous amounts of money for one of the candidates to influence the votes, for I think the communication officer position or so. I think it was Sami Jenfi. So it was 150,000 Ghana cedis and something else. Okay. And I mean, I didn't look at it properly at first, but I just checked on one person whose opinions I take seriously, right? So when I saw another person's page, I'm like, okay, if it has turned up here, then I mean, so the person wrote, can this be true? So I just looked at the comments. I think there were 10, 15 comments there, and then one person had said, "Let me educate you guys. Look at the 2 checks well." And this is how you spot fake news. This is essentially, I mean, what the guy did was how to verify news before you believe it. Says, look at the checks in the photo well. The serial numbers for 2 checks that seemingly have been written at the same time are so different.
Yeah.
And look at this, check this. You can immediately tell that it is not from this person or this person. And then a few minutes later, I see President Mohammed's handle say that he doesn't even own
a UMB
account there as well. So that's a typical example of how to spot and verify fake news. One, who is the author? If you don't know where it's from, you wait.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, secondly, are there any supporting documentation for it? Because normally, if you see a proper news report, if it's Joy FM or something, I mean, they are going to say, according to their... you are going to name somebody who, if the person says you are lying, you are going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
So you are going to have a verifiable secondary source. That's another way. And then the third one is, if you check these and you still can't figure it out, don't be shy to ask an expert. And especially last week, somebody was telling me, why am I focusing on the parent? Because, most of the time, most people in our generation know some of these things and know that they can at least Google it and find out if it's true or not. But if you are, what did you say, born before?
Yeah,
born into computers.
Born into computers. If you are born before computers and you are not born into computers, simply ask an expert. And in this case, well, if you are elderly, you might probably want to ask your child.
Children.
Yes, your children.
not the babies.
Not the babies. Ask your children, if it's true or not. In case my mom is listening, it doesn't mean you should bombard me with messages every two. Yeah, but these are practical ways to, and like we said last week, fake news is never going to stop, because as we know it's a $100,000 industry. Now it's going to be a multi-billion-dollar industry as people find more sophisticated ways to benefit from fake news.
Yeah. And if people, the concept of controversial marketing. So somebody can engineer the same concept to push a propaganda, so he can get microphones in front of him, so he can get media attention.
And say whatever.
So it's part of political strategy.
Yeah.
So it won't end any moment.
But you see, last week I was talking about deepfakes.
Yes.
Like the more advanced version of fake news. And someone called me after we spoke about it, scared, how are we really going to be able to tell when something is fake, especially from a video? So there was one simple way that I could tell that a video was fake. When the person was speaking, they never blinked. And it was online.
Yeah.
So I Googled it to find out that if this was actually, and it was something that people had realized, that in deepfakes, the fake videos where they were made to portray someone else, the blinking was either not natural or they sometimes never ever blinked.
Yeah.
And if you are that good at not blinking,
it costs extra money for CGI blinking.
So I'm looking at one fake news here, which it says that Tanzanian leader backs polygamy to end prostitution. Right.
Well,
there was this one that was saying that one country's women didn't have men.
I think it was Ethiopia or something.
Ethiopia, and they put
One
a
of those
very
countries.
beautiful image of beautiful women, and
I
all men
remember
were
that.
like,
We should move.
At?
Right. And this article goes on to say that the president of Tanzania was backing or was in support of polygamy to end prostitution. And millions of people were like almost 70 Tanzanian and 40 million women and only 3 million of the men. So trying to make a ratio to say that the president is encouraging polygamy to end prostitution, which is absolutely not true. And if you read another one which came in February, it says that President Zuma of South Africa had resigned. And, at that time, the rand had gained some, I think 1%, it was rising, and it kind of dropped. It lost its value as well. So some of these things can be funny, but at some point, it can affect the whole economy as well. So people should be aware of some of these things that they put out as well, because I'm not sure what somebody could say about Ghana that could crash our little market. And you have to be conscious about it, right? So, yeah.
But there's this one prominent fake news that every single year we get multiple ones coming out. Someone's dead.
Yeah.
Every year someone dies.
Oh,
who's
yeah.
still alive.
Yeah.
All you have to do is go to Wikipedia.
If it's not was, then it is.
It's not was or died. You see, if the person died, it's so instant. I remember when Michael Jackson died and I needed to confirm. I just went to Wikipedia and it was born this, died this. I'm like, wow, that was fast.
That was fast.
Oh, okay, then
Yeah.
that was good for you because at that time I was in high school, senior high school, and they actually banged the bell to tell us that Michael Jackson was dead.
You
Wow.
supposed to be kidding.
Wow.
I'm serious.
School actually had.
No, like not everyone. It was my boarding house where I think multiple boarding houses did the same thing, but
No, I don't think my school would have done that.
It's not that deep.
No, it's not that deep. My school would have probably done that if it was the Pope. Yeah, but Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
If you have probably had
Jackson's
singing-
important, man.
No, not in my school. I went to a seminary. We don't sing Michael Jackson. We sing Hallelujah.
okay. On another tangent, we talk. I was taking shots at family groups. I'm sorry, but family groups post a lot of health-oriented
Yeah,
news. I'm not gonna say they're fake news. Like today in one of my family groups.
One of
that.
How many families do you have?
Like 6.
I mean, this was a group I was blindsided. Like I woke up one day and I'm like, what group is this? And yeah, I was in there. I haven't spoken in a group before. I just observe. So I was talking about a certain Australian woman who killed her husband using apple seeds.
Oh yeah.
And talks about the fact that apple seeds has cyanide. It is true. Apple seeds do contain cyanide. But I cannot believe if a man would sit there and eat 200 apple seeds, because that's the quantity of apple seeds you need to feed a person before
Something
the person could.
who die.
Oh, my bad. So
Fake news.
so I'm like, when it comes to health, I mean, we saw one recently about the pawpaw. Was it raw or I didn't understand the message.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, raw and ripe.
he was. I think the statement was that get raw pawpaw. It should not be ripe. And I was like, but we eat pawpaw raw most of the time.
Yeah.
Who
So
boils pawpaw?
some chefs day round, bro. So
Gary,
I mean, but when it comes to health, it's your health. Don't just get up and start trying stuff you saw in a WhatsApp group.
On a WhatsApp group,
you
yes.
really need to check it out. Make sure you get as extensive information about it before you take
Now,
action.
speaking of health, this is a touchy one, and especially among our demographic of listeners.
Young ones.
Keto diet has become a thing.
Oh,
Keto diet has become a thing,
People are trying
and
to-
there's
Hold on,
a
hold on.
serious story.
Abazili keto diet.
Look, please, I don't want to get it wrong, because I know disciples. Let me give you the classification. I know people who are disciples of keto diet. Then I know the ambassadors of keto diet.
And the
Then I know the evangelists of keto diet.
And the popes.
And the popes of keto diet. So I don't want, but
And
essentially,
the business people.
in one line, eat more fat, less carbs.
less carbs, because your body actually saves carbs as fats, and it will actually burn fat after it will burn the carbs after it has become fat. So if you eat the fats, your body will burn that fat without going through the entire process.
Spiky, I think we have qualified to be pharmacists.
Kind of.
And really, Spiky, there's an article
Yeah.
which I shared 3 days ago.
Yeah.
There's a doctor in the US.
And I
who
checked
said-
that it wasn't fake news.
Yes.
It's so that's what I'm coming to.
Exactly.
So keto diet has become a thing. I have very good friends. Shout our own Hans Mensa Ando. When he joined Joy FM, I mean, their Accra life was good, so he expanded small. And then he decided to
Keto lies.
ketolize himself. He went on a 30-day, I think, keto diet, and the change has been amazing. I mean, I'm looking at him and I'm saying, if I ever expand,
If you ever enjoy a crowd life,
whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I would do keto. So I see this story, and the website is not something I've seen before. So I apply what I just said. I check the name of this doctor I saw on the website, and I realize it's quite actually a big deal.
Yeah.
I checked this story on the major websites, and I saw it on some other serious website that he had said that. Now, this is what he said. He says that keto diets are not bad per se.
Exactly.
But he says that if you are concerned about your health long term,
yes,
don't do
it
keto
is
diet.
exactly.
a good
If
option.
it's just for like 1 year and you just want to reduce and whatnot,
And then balance the equation.
Yes, and balance the equation. Maybe you want to have a wedding or you want to have a modeling contract and stop it. So I realized that was not fake, and I'm like, keto diet has become a lot of gyms are prescribing it.
Yeah.
So many people are making money out of it. And then
those prescribers have no idea what they're doing.
And it also results in a lot of cardiovascular diseases.
And that's what
so
he
that
said
was
as
a long
well.
term.
Yeah, that was a long term.
So it was actually a friend of mine who is a doctor in the US that actually told me that the keto thing. Those were like 2 months ago. I was asking about the whole keto thing. I was like, everybody's going crazy about it. What's
Keto,
up?
yeah.
And I was like, long term, it's not a good idea.
And the funny thing is, you see like it's working for people. It's working for people, and you're like, I mean, people are giving their wives pressure. Why don't you keto?
Earlier, I think that was like yesterday. There's also
breaking news. I said doing keto. I hear he's doing keto.
That's fake news.
That's what Manasseh just came to tell us that I said doing keto.
On that note, 138.com. Turn your passion into some real cash. Make a move to 138.com, the best online sports betting and virtual gaming company in town. Introducing our online casino. Register and bet with us to enjoy 200% bonus on your first deposit on www.138.com. Feel the taste of better odds, endless markets, and prompt payments, live in-play betting. Enjoy our unbeatable odds boost for all major leagues and Champions League matches. 138.com is licensed and regulated by Gaming Commission of Ghana. Please, not for persons under 18 years. Bet responsibly. Join the winning team now. 138.com. Win every day. So if you have some questions for us, you can send them on 0244 340 437. That's our WhatsApp number, 0244 340 437. And if you want to call in, it's 0302 216 541. We're talking about fake news, how to spot them. So before we get our calls and our messages, Joseph Quay is not here with us today from the E-Crime Bureau. Last week he was talking about how you can do a reverse image search. I want to just go over it a bit for people who didn't get it. When you go to google.com, enter google.com in your browser, you look at your top right, you'll see images. Click on that images, it brings you to the Google image search. Then there's an option to search for images. You see a small camera near the magnifying glass. Click on the camera. It allows you to either upload an image or copy a link of an image and search for that image. Best for you to actually upload the actual image so that the search engine can search for it and then give you all websites or all sources that image has been used in. It uses very advanced technology to match the image and give you the results. By doing so, when there's an explosion and people are sharing atomic bomb explosions and claiming that they are filling station explosions, you can tell the difference. You know which one is fake news, which one is not fake news. We have a call on the line already. Hello, Ajiman.
Yeah, Mr. Internet Security Man.
Yes, sir.
I hope you are good.
Yeah, I'm very well.
Yeah. For me, if I hear the news and I haven't heard it from multimedia platform, it is not a news for me. Because before multimedia will come out with something, they've checked very well and know how viable the news is. One thing that we should also watch out, when you go to the net.
Oh man, we lost you. Call us back. We've got another call on the line. Hello,
he was giving
Lukman.
us a tip.
Yeah, he was. That's great. Hello, Lukman.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much for this wonderful program that you have been. I have learned a lot from this program. I have been even teaching some of my friends. They should be careful about what they share on net. You know, sometimes you have to apply a little common sense or wisdom before you share things. You just, because the moment you buy data, or first thing that you see, you start sharing it. You know, even recently, the BBC also has done some kind of investigation. They realized that a lot of things that they publish on net, some of them are very fake, and they create a lot of problem for some people. In Brazil, they did that about 2 people were killed, and it ended up they say they were kidnappers. At the end of the day, it was fake news. So sometimes we should apply a little wisdom before we share things on net.
Wonderful advice, Lukman. Thank you very much for calling. So that was Lukman. Okay, I think Ajman is back. Hello, Ajman.
Yeah, thank you. I'm back.
Thank you for coming back.
You know what? I've been visiting some nutritional sites on the net. And I have been receiving some piece of advice over there.
Okay.
But I could see that it is not all the news are good. Because, for instance, when I read through some certain nets, some of them talk about egg. They say egg, the yolk is good. Another side is also talk about the shell. The shell is rather good. Another side is also talk about both. Some will even advise that take the egg early in the morning. Some also advise on coffee.
Yeah.
It's good to be taking coffee. But we all know how coffee works for human beings. So I think you should be very careful about whatever you read on the net, because if you don't take time, you spread the news to other people and it ends up to be something disturbing them.
Right.
So the fake news, it seems to be like China phone now. They have modernized some of the genuine China phones. I mean, the fake China phones. And it looks as if it's genuine China phone. Unless you use it for some time, or you get somebody who has delved into it properly before, you can know that this is the fake China phone or this is the genuine China phone.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for calling, Ajay.
Joy 99.7 FM.
So we have Divine on the line. Hello, Divine.
Yes, hello. Good evening.
Good evening, Divine.
Yes, I'm really enjoying the program, and I'm actually learning a lot.
Joy
99.7 and I just wanted to share a few things, but it's much more on the humor side, basically.
Sure, shoot.
Yeah, personally, I've noticed that what is actually causing this rise of fake news is the fact that a lot of people are always on social media, and it's like their bread and butter. Everyone is relying on it rather than seeking actual connection with people. So everyone is constantly on their phone. So it has even made it much more easier. But I think the frustrating part of all this fake news is, I don't know about you, but I think it is our dads and moms who share it the most.
Everyone is saying that. Everyone is saying that.
It's so frustrating. It's like they share it the most. Like, it got to a time I took my dad's phone and deleted his WhatsApp because it was too embarrassing. He was just embarrassing himself all over, just sharing every single thing. And then there was this time I was online, and it was so easy to spot this fake news. You're like one of these things pop up. A mom at home and this.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the picture, and it was Tracy Ellis Ross.
I know, right? I shared the same thing in one of my groups. That how is it possible that these people think that is true?
From Black in Kofo with, you know, it's really funny, you know.
Very.
Yeah. Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you very much, Divine. Sorry.
So based on what Ajiman said, Spiky, I think it's very important, something we have not mentioned. What happens when you see news stories from your BBCs, your CNNs, and they contradict each other? What do I mean by that? So, for example, in The Guardian, there's an article that says, are you married to the right person and does it matter? This is the first paragraph. It says, if you want to have a happy marriage, should you live together first with your partner before getting married? Now, it says that research in September that has been published says that cohabitation brings a higher risk of divorce in one study. Then again, in another study from another reputable university, the same study, but different researchers say that, amazingly, you can keep your marriage if you live together for a few years first. So how do you deal with it if you are reading on the internet and you know what I mean? How do you deal with it? And then I was asking Kweku, and he had a very interesting answer. Kweku, give us your answer.
My take is, who is paying the research?
For the research, yes.
If I'm paying for the research and I'm in favor,
you,
and I want you to favor me to say you can or you cannot, that's what I'm going to pay for. So I mean, it depends on who's paying for the research.
So you are saying that those universities who bring out the research sometimes it's because they have been paid.
Yeah, it depends on who's sponsoring this research.
So it's not that it's scientific. The scientific method.
It's scientific. No. I mean, whatever you're looking for, you will find it. Exactly. Whatever you're looking for, you find it. It has an influence. It has an influence.
You know what they say? Statistics are like miniskirts. Depending on how you look, you see flesh or you see clothes. Yes.
So we've got some messages here. Someone sent a video asking whether it's as a video, I think it's the Khashoggi case, and asking whether it is fake. I believe that it is fake.
Yeah, so the website that brought it out was albasru.com. They redacted it. Now, essentially, it shows somebody being dismembered on a table, somebody being cut to pieces, and they posted it up to say that was Khashoggi, Khashoggi who was, but it was pointed out to them, and so they redacted it. But by the time they redacted it, of course, it has spread all over the world.
So that is the most difficult and dangerous part of it.
Pardon?
That's the most difficult and dangerous part of it.
Once
retracting it? No. Usually, not retracting it. They can retract it, but the impact of the...
you can retract the impact.
Yes. Sometimes it is deliberate. Okay, it's just like a river. You drop the thing in the water, the current to carry it away. You can't find it at the spot where you dropped it. So they just put it onto the net, and then they come back and cover it with an apology.
Yeah.
Then the rest
is gone.
It's gone.
And people are still sharing. I know some people will not do their research. And
next year you still see it.
As of yesterday, I think Instagram was taking steps to stop this kind of fake news stuff, right? Since Instagram's inception in 2010, I think Instagram now is saying that anybody who violates this act of posting fake news or trying to increase its numbers or likes or followers falsely, they'll first send the person a warning and ask the person to change or reset their password. And if you go ahead to do that, then I believe they will cancel your account. Because
sometimes some of the social media websites, they are very hypocritical. Okay, then they connect these apps to their platform. Because you cannot pad up comments and likes and followers without the permission from the platform. They have the AI to even analyze whether they are padding your fans and followers with bots. They know. So now that their numbers are up and they realize they have to start making money, then they started cleaning up the system. Twitter did the same thing. Obama lost 2 million followers. Massive. 3 days ago, Instagram is doing the same thing. So all these celebrities with millions of followers, 500,000 followers, half of them may even be bots. So we should be checking stuff like that. But these platforms are also part of it. But how do you allow people, to use third-party software, and then you give them permission to pad up numbers,
to buy followers, essentially,
exactly,
and likes.
I don't believe that it was actually. Okay, I'm not going to say research because now we are saying that research is not exactly.
Not all research. I wanted to be careful. Personally, I feel like research, like he said, no matter what answer you want, you will get it. And it depends on the demographic you are targeting
and the parameters.
Yes. It could go either side. You can manipulate it to go one way.
It's classic half. I mean, this glass, is it half full or half empty?
Exactly.
All a point of view.
So apparently, people would think that Facebook is the mother of fake news, but it turns out Twitter beats them to it.
I see.
Twitter is actually
more they are the whale of a fake news.
Thanks to Trump. I was honestly, thanks to Trump. I was honestly very surprised because I was expecting that fake news would definitely come from Facebook more than. Okay, so we have another message here. It says, I believe that with the issue of fake news, people are quick to share because they want to be early in breaking the news without necessarily checking how authentic it is. A little patience and thinking through it will help. That's Gab Darling from Hacho. Gab Darling, very, very, very true. People, we need to find out who's giving the awards, man, for the best or the most instant news.
Breaking news,
Good evening, Joy FM. Your
no.
Some of the messages we can't use.
I think people should start adding dates.
I think people start adding dates and times to breaking news they forward, because otherwise they keep creating fear and panic on old news. For example, the explosion at Atomic last year. Months later, I still kept getting messages to avoid the area because there's been a gas explosion. That's now from Spintex.
That's true.
Repurposing.
It's true. We do need to attach, but who's going to do it?
I don't know.
Date and the time.
That's actually the question. How can these platforms stop fake news? Because once it's out there, like you said, once the river carries it's
Facebook
gone.
created the war room.
What?
The war room.
But I can still post anything I want.
The war room.
What's there? Is it like the movie where they pray?
The war room. Just go read about the war room.
All right.
It's a marketing strategy. I mean, after reading all the news sites trooped to Facebook's war room to go find out what is happening in the war room. I'm saying it like
I can tell there's not much in there.
Nothing.
War room.
but you should think about it. It's a way for people to make money.
Of course.
Right? Because there have been instances where, we see that people have posted or signed documents and edited documents from high offices, making it look like it is real, pointing people to a certain platform that they belong to them, and people have gone to pay for stuff. Right? And my question is, what happens to all these people, right? Do they get arrested? Do we just get away with it? Something has to be done. And the digital era is really moving fast. I don't know if the laws are catching up, or is our security systems on our police being able to catch up with all of these things. Because these days people don't need to break your door to steal from you. They can fish you out, they can put out fake information and still make money. So I think we should also pay attention to some of these things, find ways and means in which the law, the security agencies can pay attention to this and address some of these issues, because it's very critical. If we don't do that now, it might come back to hurt you or I in the future.
Thank you very much, Kokuche, for that advice. And on that note, we end the show.
We have done 2 shows on fake news, and we have not even we can have 6 shows on fake news.
Just bring Trump. It's fake.
Fake news. Anyway, up next is the news, after which you have Sammy Forson with Overdrive. My name is Kobe Spike Nkrumah. See you next week.